Hey, it's Bruce from TPC. I am at Silver Rush 50 in Leadville, Colorado. Before I get into the race, let me ask you, have you ever seen an ape try to set up a tent? I bet you it looks a little like this.
Need a hand?
So obviously I am not a very experienced camper, but it was important to me that I try to do this because Silver Rush 50 is kind of my dress rehearsal for the Leadville 100, which I am planning to camp for because I want to save money. You know, I didn't want to get an Airbnb or a hotel room or anything like that. And now I'm kind of not sure if that's a good idea because I kind of had the worst night of sleep I think I've ever had before a race. I was freezing cold, really uncomfortable on my sleeping pad, and honestly kind of scared, you know, being out just in a tent. Yeah, I don't know. I saved money, so yeah, we'll see. Anyway, this is the start of the Silver Rush 50. It is a pretty unique start for a race. You know, everyone lines up at the bottom of this sledding hill, and when the gun goes off, we're all just gonna run up it. I didn't go crazy hard, you know, I'm basically walking, but there are some people, like this guy you're about to see, yep, carrying his bike above his head, just charging to the front. You know, the first woman and the first man to cross the timing gate at the top, they do get, you know, a coin to enter the Leadville 100, but, you know, I didn't need that, so I was just trying to stay chill. You get to the top and you're like in this cluster of riders, just, yep, trying to avoid people, dabbing, soft pedaling, until you get into, you know, some fire road like this, and you can open it up a little bit, still pretty crowded. Anyway, Silver Rush 50, it was kind of my first taste of riding above 10,000 feet. I don't really have any experience riding a bike at this sort of elevation, so it was really important for me to suss out kind of how I was going to feel. I kind of learned the hard way, and we'll get into that a little bit, that, you know, I gotta change a lot of my thinking and riding strategy when I'm up this high. This was also my qualifier for Leadville. I was hoping to sort of up my corral position because I'm starting at the very back since I got in through the lottery. So a result here should bump me up somewhere, at least so I'm not at the very, very back. And I kind of didn't know what to expect. I asked, you know, some of my coworkers to give me some intel. A lot of them just told me this race is really, really hard.
Oh, I've been watching your videos trying to get tips.
Thank you.
Hopefully they work, man. Or they're just scaring me.
So that guy might be talking about exactly what my coworkers were telling me. You know, Silver Rush, it's 50 miles, but it packs in nearly 8,000 feet of climbing, which is more climbing per mile than Leadville. Some people say it's harder than Leadville, and after doing it, I kind of totally believe them. Now, look at what I'm doing here. You know, we hit this first little climb, and I just start charging up the side on this chunky stuff. I want to address, before we get too far into the video, the title of this video. I called it Silver Rush 50 Exposed My Biggest Weakness. Now you might be thinking, oh, Bruce's biggest weakness, maybe that's climbing. And you'd be kind of right. You know, I'm kind of an average-ish climber. Maybe it's Bruce's fitness. Sure, I could be more fit, but no. No, my biggest weakness is ego. Now, I came into this race not like crazy confident, but I do think I'm a pretty good technical bike handler. You know, I raced a lot of enduro before the pandemic, and before I really got into gravel racing. I, you know, did a lot of bike park riding when I was younger, a lot of downhill. So I'm like, yeah, I'm a pretty decent bike handler, you know? I'm confident on a mountain bike, and man, that really ended up working against me. Just look at the scenery really quick before I continue. These mountains are so epic. Sometimes I can't believe I live in Colorado, that I get to do these races. It looks like a painting. But okay, so back to like the technical bike handling. This is like the first hard climb. You can see there's that like little thing we have to hop over, but it's chunky, it's steep. There's like a river running down the trail. This is a really difficult climb, and pretty early, guys were getting off and walking. You know, a lot of riders were really struggling to make it up this, but me, I cleaned nearly all of it, and it got me feeling really confident. I was like, look at me. All these people, they're getting off and walking, but me, I'm still pedaling. I'm pretty confident in my technical climbing skills, and I was just like, haha, I am a god among men. Oh gosh, it feels so dumb to say now, knowing what happens later in the race, but this is exactly what got me into trouble, was my ego. I was just like, yes, I can keep doing this. And I'll say a lot of my coworkers who have done Leadville or done races at this sort of elevation, they did warn me, you know, above 10,000 feet, we all live, you know, around 5,000. This is twice as high. You can't go as hard, and you don't recover as well. And I knew this. Everyone told me this. Oh gosh, the view. Yeah, just look at this view. But for whatever reason, I just didn't like believe it, or I didn't internalize it. I just dumb guy ego stuff. I'm like watching my power, watching my heart rate, sort of sussing out the perceived effort. I'm like, you know, this doesn't feel that bad. You know, I'm like, to get up some of these like really chunky technical sections, I'm having to like punch above 300 watts. And I'm like, I can do this. I mean, I've done this in other big, I did this at Unbound. Like, I can come back from this. And I really believe that. And so I just kept doing it. And I just like did not think it was that big a deal. Cause like, I mean, you can probably hear I'm breathing really hard. And this guy, I want to say, excellent kit, this white and yellow. I do not have the guts to wear something like that, but that is super cool. I just thought I was crushing it. And I just wanted to keep this momentum going. I was like, I'm not getting off. I'm going to follow these guys still on their bikes, and I'm going to stay on my bike too. And what I didn't know was happening to me was I was just digging myself deeper and deeper into the hole. Now you see here, we're coming to the end of like the first really tough climb. Again, these guys in front of me get off, and I'm like, I keep going. Eventually it just gets way too hard, and I have no choice, and I have to get off. And I step off my bike, and immediately I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. I'm like struggling to push my bike up the hill, and I'm starting to think, maybe I went too hard. I don't know. You know, I'm still kind of believing that I'm pacing it right. And especially with this descent here, this is a really fast road descent. It's the first big descent you hit after that first big climb. It was really long. You can see I'm like, the camera's pointed at the ground because I'm kind of tucking, getting really low in aero. I've got my dropper dropped, and I'm just like, you can see my shadow there. I'm like trying to get my back flat. You go like 30 miles an hour, but it lasts like a really long time, super fast, and a lot of time to recover. So I'm like, great, this is awesome, this is perfect. You know, you hit this little climb after that descent, you get on the road, and this is the first like big aid station you pass. This guy in front of me in orange, I think his name was Grant. I rode with him a lot actually during this race. He is on a Santa Cruz Chameleon hardtail. And, you know, I kind of saw how he was descending, so I was like, you know, I'm just going to follow him into this next descent because I'm just not really sure what it looks like, and I don't want to blow a corner or anything or crash. I did see some people crash on this descent, so it was a good idea, and you'll see.
Almost died.
Yep, I blew that corner. Luckily, that was the only time. I pretty much just followed Grant here the whole way and stayed pretty safe past a few people. Again, like I'm descending, I'm like not really working very hard, and I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I'm going pretty fast, and the confidence again is starting to, you know, pick up a little bit. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm doing really good. This feels right. I do want to mention that, like, I've heard people criticize this race and Leadville for like not being mountain bike races. You know, they're kind of on these like fire roads and double track roads. You know, it's not single track, it's not trail riding, but man, that descent was really fun. Now this is the second major climb of the race. And holy crap, this was super hard. You can see there's kind of only one really clean line that you can take that isn't like super loose or chunky. And I am like dying a death by 1,000 cuts right now. Again, my ego is like, stay on your bike, don't get off and walk. You can do this, and I did it. I made it up it all, but at what cost? See the mountains in the background there. Epic, so epic. So really, it kind of, you get this little descent right here after that really tough section, but then you start climbing again to the high point of the race right here, and I'm kind of starting to feel it. Like my legs are like, it's hard to explain. Like, they're not burning. They're not like, you know, they're not like filled with lactate or anything. Oh, here's the race moto. The race leader is actually right behind this. He's gonna come right up. Now, the race leader finished in under 4 hours. Some people are so freaking fast. But like I said, I'm not feeling great. Like, I just feel like I can't make power. I'm like starting to like struggle to breathe. You can see I almost blow that sandy corner. I'm like kind of feeling loopy. I'm realizing like, oh, I've dug myself into a really deep hole. This is not good. I didn't catch it on camera, but my coworker Chase did come by the other direction, so he was well ahead of me. He had a great day. Check out, we did a video where we checked out our race bikes. We're both on Specialized Epic EVOs, so do take a look at that. You can see what we're riding. But here's the like turnaround point. This is the halfway point, and I was just like, no thank you. I get off immediately and start walking up this thing, and I am really feeling terrible. You can see how slow I'm going right here. I'm kind of thinking like, oh my gosh, I have to climb back up all that stuff I descended. I'm like dreading it. So I'm trying to just like relax on, you know, all these descents, sort of heading back. You can see the two-way traffic is starting to come into play here. But I'm just like miserable. Look at this. How am I supposed to ride this when I'm totally blown up? Some dudes did pass me. Like, they cleaned it. Kudos, because that was super impressive. You'll see here, I think, yeah, some two-way traffic gets, I have to get out of the way.
Thanks, guys.
That's kind of just how these worked. Everyone was really chill about it. A lot of fun. This guy next to me, he gets back on his bike, but I'm just feeling so terrible. I'm just like, I am gonna walk. just a little bit farther.
I don't know. I think it flattens out here.
So I get back on my bike eventually, start riding again. Right now, my mind is kind of just like, I'm switching from I'm racing to I'm surviving. This was definitely like, I was fueling like the same as I do in like all my sort of endurance races. I didn't think I was going that hard, but clearly I didn't pace this properly. And this is something that I'm really glad I experienced here at Silver Rush and not at Leadville. Because it really sucked to blow Leadville because I just don't understand like what elevation does to me. I do want to mention this. It was super hot at this point in the day. You know, the sun's just baking you, but anytime I rode through a puddle like that, the water's like all like snow melt. It was super cold. My feet would be freezing, but my upper half would be baking. It's a really interesting sensation. You can see me here. I've got a carbs fuel gel. You know, I was doing one of these 50-gram carbs fuel gels every 45 minutes. It's kind of just what I do. I had Tailwind in my hydration pack and my bottles. You know, I had a 1.5 liter hydration pack, 2 bottles, all with Tailwind in it. 7 of these carbs fueled gels. I never stopped during the race. Like, that was my plan. Maybe I should have carried less and stopped more. I don't know. But really, ultimately, I do think I just blew it in the first half, going too hard on those climbs. So good to know in the future when I do Leadville a month after this, I really need to like hit these climbs a lot easier. Like, I need to keep my power a lot lower. I need to punch less. I need to like put my ego in my back pocket, and I need to get off and walk instead of grinding, you know, especially early in the race. You catch a glimpse of this. It's a woman in an orange kit. I caught up to her and was like, oh yes, a carrot, like literally orange carrot. I'm gonna chase this person down. Nope. The next descent, we're descending back down that really hard second climb I mentioned earlier. Holy crap, she went so fast. Dropped me like a brick. I talk about it with this guy because she passed him and I caught up to him, and I was just like, what did I just see? This woman was so fast.
Woman in orange is fast.
What's up?
That woman in orange is man.
I was like, I didn't think I was going that full, but you were perfect.
Anyway, here I am. This is the start of the so this is, I followed the Grant on the Santa Cruz Chameleon down this descent, and this is the start of it, coming back the other direction. Oh man, I felt bad. I turned off the camera because I was just miserable. I was cursing myself. Here I am on that dirt road that I was talking about earlier where we went really fast again. I didn't have the camera on much because I was just feeling so terrible, so sorry for myself, so pinned, yet going so slow. And up there, that's Grant again. I caught back up to him. And then we hit this big descent, and oh my gosh, I was so glad to finally make it here. I do want to shout out this guy in blue that we pass. If you look closely, his left leg there is a prosthetic.
You're fucking awesome, man.
Seriously, that is like so amazing. You know, para riders, adaptive. I'm so tired, I just almost blow that corner completely. But para athletes, they're so amazing. Like, I'm able-bodied, and I feel like I was on death's door at this point. Like, freaking heroes, seriously. But so this descent, this is that first big climb, you know, earlier that had like the river running through it. And I don't think the GoPro really does it justice. It is so fast, so loose, so much fun. I mean, it almost, it did. It made up for like all the pain and suffering I had gone through in like the previous 10 miles. Because you're just like letting it rip down this huge descent. Like, I think we were descending for maybe 20 minutes. Some absurdly long time. Grant's dropped me a little bit at this point because I think he got around that the para rider a little faster than me. But I do catch back up, and Grant was shredding. I do want to mention, like, he was on a hardtail, and he was going really fast, but near the end of this descent, it was so long and so rough. I saw him kind of stretching out, getting tired. Me on the full suspension, I was able to be like way lazier, relax a lot more, and eventually, you know, when he has to take a break, I just kind of just scoot past. So, you know, to me, it's a point for full suspension bikes.
You're shredding, dude. Yeah, bro.
And one thing I really liked about this, a puncture. Yeah, I want to mention I did have tire inserts. I think they're a really great idea on like a rough course like this. I had the Vittoria Airliner XC inserts in my Vittoria Peyote XC tires. By the way, those tires, they hook up really well. They look like they have no tread on this really loose stuff. They felt great, super fast. I just wish I had the legs to back it up. And again, like I said, all the water was freezing. But overall, you know, this descent, so good. The view, look at that, so good. And then you're kind of just like, it's like a fan is blowing on you the whole time. So even though like it was so hot, it was really pleasant to just like not have to pedal, just let it rip. And eventually, you know, I start catching people. I'm like, okay, things aren't so bad, but then you have to climb again.
And joy ends.
Fortunately, that climb wasn't too long. We get on another really fast descent here, and I actually I don't really recognize where we are at this point. Like, I don't remember this, but you can see like a speck in the distance. It's another rider. This guy's name I think was Glenn. And I was able to sort of close up and follow him, which was really nice. It's always great to have a carrot to chase. It's always better than being alone. And again, Glenn here on a 9er hardtail, absolutely ripping it. Like, I don't really actually like close up that much on him. And I'm not going slow. Like, I'm trying to be really smooth, trying to like really like stay off the brakes and just tuck and go really fast. And he's hanging it out. And really I'm working. And this view again, oh my gosh. I mean, like, sometimes it just feels like I can't believe I live here. It's like I live in a painting. So nice. I'm like trying to catch up, and I eventually do once the descent ends, and I ride up onto Glenn's wheel, suck wheel for a little bit. It's actually good that I caught him too, because at this point I have no idea where I am. The course, the finish here is different than the start, so I don't recognize anything. At some point my Garmin had paused, so my mileage was incorrect, so I didn't know how much was left. So it was good. I was able to ask Glenn, like, give me some beta, like what's left? And he was like, oh, it was like 3 or 4 miles, and you just like, you know, hit this descent and some single track, and it's over. So I'm like, great. I grabbed my last carbs fueled gel. I smashed that. I finish all of the carb mix in my last bottle. And so kind of like with my nutrition, I kind of did get that right at least. Like I had just enough till the very end. And then once I topped up, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna kick. At this point, you know, I'm solidly mid-pack. You know, I'm not really racing for anything, but it's a race. You have to try. Like that's the whole point of doing it. It's just to test yourself. So you hit this double track, and I start, you know, giving it the beans a little bit, trying to catch some people, and I hit this pavement. And we're at the bottom of the hill. We're kind of coming back into town. I'm like, yes, yes, I'm so close to the finish. The finish must be right around this corner. Okay, there's a guy sitting here. Yes, the finish must be right here. It must be, oh no, nope. We're turning and we're gonna start climbing up this single track trail. Oh shoot. Anyway, I'm starting to think like maybe I kicked too early, but I don't know. I just have to bury myself because I have no idea how much like of the course is left. And I'm like, why is it so hard? This whole last like 15 minutes maybe, it felt like forever. I just was like, when is it going to end? I'm trying to just keep the momentum going. I am like looking as far ahead as I can to just try and see like how much longer is this going to go. And I will say this is the only section of single track in the entire race is at the very end here. It was pretty fun. Type 2 fun in retrospect. In the moment, I was just like, please be over. I'm like winding through this section here, and I actually see my campsite there. That's I was camping in that field over there, so I'm like, oh, I must be close. So I start going a little harder, and then I blow this corner, I think. Yeah, I don't do it too well. I'm like, yes, oh this must be it. I must be like right near the end because my campsite was like literally like 30 seconds from the start finish. Yeah, oh nope, we're turning this way, and we're still going. Oh my gosh, I am so sad. I see this little kicker and I am so upset.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay, so I made it over that. That wasn't such a big deal. I'm so tired. Oh man, really, like this race gave me a really good idea of how I need to approach Leadville. I need to be a lot more conservative. Oh yeah, high fives. Kids should always get high fives. Don't be stingy. And I'm just like, man, I'm gonna have to ride a lot slower and a lot easier than I expect. So here I am. This is the finish.
Is this it?
This like little hill you bomb down at the end is kind of loose and sketchy, and the bottom is like super flat and loose. So I kind of took it really slow. My wife was actually making fun of how slow I looked on the video. You'll see that in just a sec. Yep, not moving too fast, but man, I was absolutely shattered.
Way to go, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Cold water.
Ooh,
ginger ale, Coke.
Coke,
Yep,
please.
and if you know me,
Thank you,
I am
sir.
always going to take a Coke and drink it. There's me absolutely destroyed. My finish time was 5:37, so not fantastic. I mean, I could have done better. Chase, my coworker Chase, did fantastic. He finished in 4:31. He's going to be in a very fast corral, maybe silver or red. And I do also want to shout out my coworker Abby. Abby is also doing the Leadville 100 this year, but she is a runner, so she's going to do some crazy stuff like the full series. She did Silver Queen, where she ran 50 miles on Saturday, and then did Silver Rush 50 on the mountain bike on Sunday. Man, I can't I can't believe it. That's insane, Abby. You're awesome.